What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mad Medicine. My name is Farhan. I'm a medical student, and I'm going to be your host for today's show. So today, we have a really special show. We have two very special medical students here with us. Their names are...
Kareem Rashid.
Michael Garcia.
So Kareem and Michael are some of my oldest friends. And we're all at med school together. And I thought, you know what? Today would be a great day to have you guys on the show. So welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. So the main topic of today's video is going to be about clinical experience. Now, I know a lot of you guys, pre-med, undergrad, high schoolers, you're really interested in what type of clinical experience do you need to get into medical school. So obviously, I don't want to hog the video. I have two wonderful co-students or peers. I have two wonderful peers with me. Colleagues. Actually, we've known each other since freshman year of college, so that's why,
I say homies.
Yeah, it was say homies. I got my homies out here. But I didn't want to give just my perspective. That's just one person. I want you guys to talk about it. So my very first question is, we all got to med school. How many experiences did you guys have, roughly?
So our application actually had I'm not sure, 11 or 16 slots.
16? And how many did you fill up with clinical
How many
experience?
I filled up? With clinical experience, I filled up 2, but in total, I had 9 slots.
Yeah.
See, I could have filled it up a lot more, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, because those two were so pivotal.
Yeah, you want to put in what's been the most meaningful in your journey.
Yeah. So what about you? How many clinical things did you do?
So I did 2, but
okay.
so I talked about my number one that I talked about was my volunteering at the hospital. That was my number one. That was my I would not trade that for anything.
You did that for a while.
I did that for a really
You did that for a while.
And I would dedicate, I would show up 7 in the morning.
I remember, yeah.
And then leave at 11. I would do 8-hour shifts back to back. It was a lot.
You were in the leadership in that too, right?
No, I didn't. I wanted to apply,
okay.
But then I felt like when you do leadership team, it separates you from working much with the patients, and you get into the hierarchy.
Administration.
Yeah, and then for me, I was there more for the patients, not so much to lead everything.
That's good.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I would prefer just working as a volunteer. But the second thing I talked about in terms of my clinical experience was phlebotomy.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So that's the second.
What is phlebotomy, really quickly?
So vampires, they suck blood, and I usually go.
These are professionals.
Yeah.
These are professionals.
I
suck your blood.
Yeah, I suck the blood.
That's what you did.
But no, basically phlebotomy is if you've ever had one of those people that draw your blood, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah. So going through that curriculum, going through that course, it was very nice. And then the first thing that I looked at whenever I saw a person was their arm, so I could be like, oh, that's a very good vein. Oh,
it's legit. You see, you're like, oh, that's what a very nice vein you have.
I'd love to drain your. I'd like to take out a vial.
It's because imagine
you appreciate it a lot more.
There's so when I was doing hospital rounding for the phlebotomy, it was very.
Creepy.
It was
What?
What was creepy?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Oh, what? Did a ghost come by?
No. You go.
Was
You're
Rashid
going
over here?
hospital rounding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, when we were doing hospital rounding, what ended up happening was there was this older lady.
Yeah.
Where the vein kept rolling back and forth.
Yeah. And
I didn't know why the vein kept rolling, so it was very difficult. But then there was this other person where the vein was just right there, and I was like. So simple.
Nice.
Nice.
You gotta learn how to anchor it and everything.
Yeah. So then, but the thing is, that took me 6 months to learn the course. Medical school taught me in one day. So I was like, okay, that works out too.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a skill to have. I'm very thankful.
It gave you experience. It gave you hands-on experience.
Yeah. My number one reasoning to do it was I felt as though. For me personally, I wasn't doing enough as a volunteer, and I wanted to do more. So I was just phlebotomy, and it honestly interested me more and more, and I did it, and I'm very thankful for it too.
Do you think clinical experience was really important and really pivotal for when you're applying for med school?
Yeah, I believe that having some sort of clinical experience, some sort of exposure, not necessarily it could be a traditional clinical experience, but some kind of exposure to patient and patient care is very important. Definitely even working alongside nurses or other people in the healthcare field.
That's true.
PAs, nurse practitioners, even pharmacists to a certain degree. But yeah, working with healthcare providers and seeing how they take care of patients and being involved, actively involved in that, is something definitely you want to have for medical school. Because I mean, you could say like, oh, I really want to do this, I really want to do that, but if you've never been in that environment, like, how can a medical school know for sure this is what you want to do? If you
How do
haven't
they
been
know you
exposed
can
to it?
handle it? You're right.
Yeah, or that too, or like, you know, some people say that they want to go into healthcare and then they step foot into a hospital and they, you know, they volunteer for a little bit and then they realize like, oh no, I don't like this work environment. You know, maybe medicine is not for me.
Yeah.
And so I highly encourage it. So not just to do it because you want to get to med school, but for yourself to know whether or not something you want to get into, because medicine, it's a career and like for life. It's honestly it's not. So you want to make sure that you're going to be committed into something that you really want to do, because there's going to be a lot of late nights, you know.
That's true.
A lot of studying to be involved in. So
a lot of hard work, right? Like I remember, I know you did a program where you're pretty much volunteering at the at the hospital, right? So I did it too. I think Michael, you did it with us too.
Yeah, I did a similar program, but it was back in high school.
Nice. So pretty much the whole gist was we would volunteer our time about 4 hours a week, and we would help out around the hospital. You get to rotate through the hospital. It was really cool. But my expectation was, you know, we would be shadowing physicians. What I didn't know is actually you're going to be working with like the nurses, and you know, again, I love nurses, nothing to them, but I saw something I didn't expect, and I'm really grateful to it, because then we got to see how medicine is really practiced.
See, I feel like that program was a major indicator why I wanted to get into medicine even more.
Really?
Yeah, it's because like when I first started, like I had the same expectation as you. Like, I'm gonna be a volunteer, I'm gonna shadow a physician, and I'll be good. But as I did the program, it was more like working with the nurses, working with the CNAs, working with the staff members, whoever was on call. And then what I realized was like I saw physicians and I said hello and hi to them, but I was working more with the staff members more than the physician, and it was just so it gave me a good background of like, you know, working as a team, working together. Medicine isn't like I do everything by myself. You can't do it all alone.
Contrary to popular belief. It's actually not.
It sounds like, you know, everything the doctor needs nurses.
Of course.
The nurses need CNAs need volunteers. There's like a whole hierarchy. But like
all to treat like one patient.
Exactly.
That's the crazy part.
And I really, really liked it because of me volunteering, taught me the aspects of how to talk to a patient, gave me good bedside manners of like, you know, just speaking to a patient when it's appropriate, when it's not appropriate, how to help a patient, everything like that. And it's all thanks to that program. So because of that program, when I started medical school and shadowing the patients, working with the patients, shadowing doctors, a lot of the doctors were like, hey, you know what, you have very good skills interacting or communicating with patients, how come? And I told them like, oh, it's just because I did this program. And then yes, clinical skills is good, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I'll get clinical skills. My only thing is,
what do you mean by clinical skills? Really quickly elaborate, because we know, but a lot of people might not know.
So when I think of clinical skills, for me per se, it's like working in that environment, getting to know, like, you could be doing clinical skills in terms of like doing actual tests, like, you know, just cardiac exam, respiratory exam, those things, that could be clinical skills. But for me, like, clinical skills in terms of bedside manners, like
day-to-day skills,
skills that you need. And then like, you know, I feel like because of that program, I am so well off now, and I appreciate it because I can talk to a patient, I can do everything. And then I know some of my classmates, they're just so like, oh, how did you do this? And it's honestly thanks to that program. But my only advice, once again, is like, you know, go with clinical skills. But like, I know a lot of pre-meds are under the conception that all they need is clinical skills. And then for me particularly, like, you know, I volunteered my time at CCV, but like,
which
you know,
was that program that we're
yeah,
talking about,
but
right?
it was not the only thing I did. Like, majority of my time I did like tutoring and stuff like that. But after I doing that program, I knew I wanted to be a doctor.
So that brings me to my next question for both of you guys. Whoever wants to take it. But my question is, what types of clinical skill or clinical experiences are important? Should pre-meds be looking at, let's say, like a nursing home specifically, or should they be doing more hands-on work like how we did in a hospital, or is shadowing even considered clinical experience? What are you guys' thoughts about that?
At least my experience, my thoughts so far, I would say, for example, med schools, yes, they want to know that you have some exposure to, let's say if you want to apply for medical school, they want to know that, yes, you considered a career in medicine, you consider being a doctor, but then you also consider other professions, and why is it that you want to be a physician over other professions? So yes, shadowing could be a helpful insight for you to, you know, personally answer that question. You know, why exactly do I want to be a doctor? What does a doctor do? What does, you know, his duties entail? But med schools want you to be taken a step further. You know, just saying that I have shadowing experience doesn't usually cut it. You know, they want you to have active experience. So whether that's in a nursing home, in a hospital, some kind of active role in patient care setting is definitely something that they're looking for. So that's going to be very important. How it is that you act and react to certain patients, situations as well, and how you work together in a team of healthcare providers trying to provide the best patient support. So.
Because I mean, everything we do is in a teamwork setting. You know, like think about doing anything on your own. It's ridiculous. It's not going to. It's impossible at this point.
My favorite saying is "happy nurse, happy life." So I stick by that rule. So
until you get married, and then it's gonna be happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. This saying is about to change. But, take off that Volvo. Talking about being a pimp. Shut up, Cream.
You know. I just need some, you know, Rashida Wan, like, you know, he's my number one. But no, back to the topic.
Number one fan.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Truly grateful fan.
Yeah. Thanks for barging in on our interview, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great. If you guys didn't see our previous video, go check it out. There's a cameo portion where Cream comes in and completely derails the interview.
Yeah, it was amazing. Going, I didn't know that they were interviewing, and they were just like, "Oh, we're interviewing." And I was like, "Yeah, sure you are. Let's get to work like real things. I need my parking."
Wait, this is real things, man.
I didn't know you were.
What do you mean? Get to work with real things?
I'm sorry.
Way to come on my show and disrespect the host and the whole show.
No, but honestly, back to the topic.
Back to the topic.
I think whatever experience you have and can get is a meaningful experience in my point of view. The thing is, like, I know for myself, there was experiences that I had when I was shadowing, and then I had to work with patients that had Alzheimer's, and that was very meaningful to me, because, like, even though I wasn't doing anything, just the experience, how to interact, how the doctor was interacting, that meant a lot to me. But whatever experience you can get, it's amazing, and
it's only gonna help you.
Exactly.
If you're, the more diverse I say the experience you have, the better equipped.
And then like as far as what route they should go, whether nursing home, hospital, honestly, it depends on what you feel comfortable with and what you enjoy the most. Like I know, like for me, like I tried working in a nursing home, but it's just not like, you know, it was just not meant for me. But I know someone that goes to a nursing home and they love it there, and they love working with the people over there. But like, you know, it's just whatever
it's a personal
prefer. Exactly, it's whatever you prefer.
And you gotta ask yourself when you're doing these extracurriculars and stuff, you know, there's certain things you kind of everyone has to do, but to a certain degree, I'm a strong advocate for, you know, doing stuff that you're truly passionate in. You know, don't waste your time. Don't waste other people's time. Do stuff that you're passionate with, because when you do, like, you're going to excel so much better. You're going to possibly be a leader in that field, and that's going to reflect a lot better on you, and that's going to, you know, that's going to bump up your application as well. So, you know, instead of spending your time in so many different aspects, like, I want to do, you know, clinical experience at this hospital and at the same time do it at a nursing home and at the same time shadow a doctor, your time might be spread so thin that you're not able to fully engage in one particular extracurricular, which is something very, very
you might not get the most out of it.
Exactly.
No, so I think that makes a really good point, because a lot of times, especially when we were in undergrad, I wanted to get into every single clinical experience I could get into. And I'm sure, like, in the beginning,
we're all kind of guilty of that to a certain degree.
Yeah, like we all wanted to. I remember there were things like I would apply for, and then you guys would apply for, and then we'd feed off each other. And I'd see, like, you guys are doing it, like my friends would be doing it, and I'd be like, oh crap, I need to do it too. But at the end of the day, when the time comes down to actually applying and like writing up your application and thinking about your most meaningful stuff,
that's where it matters.
Exactly. It's the stuff, like you're saying, it's the stuff you're passionate about, right? And I know, like, in my application, I wrote about 2 clinical experiences over and over and over again.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Do you think there's certain types of clinical experiences that people should stay away from?
So what do you mean by...
Like, you were saying earlier, you decided not to go into leadership in the clinical experience.
So it depends, because, like, it's all based off, like, what you like, what your desire is. Because I know some people, they love being in the leadership team because they run how many volunteers get to see a certain patient. Or, like, I know there was one leadership team member that would make sure that a volunteer was there to read to them after surgeries, and they would schedule everything. Like, they made it their duty to schedule everyone for the patient. So, like, they might not be there for the patients themselves, but they did this for the patient. The intent was. So it just matters of, in my opinion, like, I don't think any experience is bad. I just think it just matters of what you like, what your desires are.
Focus on what you were saying, like what interests you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be like, I don't think any experience is bad.
That's
like
right.
Honestly, like I know there's a lot of my classmates before they started medical school that they were scribes, and then honestly when we would have PBL cases, problem-based learning cases, or anything like that.
So
they were like on top
of
it.
They knew more than we did.
Yeah.
And I was just
what labs to order, which type of people suffer from these diseases.
I was like, what kind of physical exams to do with the patient?
I was like, what's a quantiferon?
Yeah, they were strides ahead.
What is that? And then
we were behind. I felt like I legit didn't belong in that like group of people.
Yeah, and I was like, first day of PBL, we're just like sitting there. They're like, oh, what kind of tests were we running? They're just spitting
Michael,
out.
me and you were in the same group, and I remember looking at Michael. I was like, do you know this?
I was like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was worried. but then we all evened out.
Yeah, eventually there's a learning curve, and eventually everyone kind of plateaus.
Yeah. No one's like an expert in everything. Some people are really good in certain aspects, and it shows at that moment. But like, for example, you were really good in neuro because you did so much neuro research.
Yeah.
I was okay. I was decent in immunology because I had taken an immunology course, right? Like in our class, it was different. Yeah. Everyone had their own strengths.
Exactly.
But as far as clinical experience, do you guys think that undergrads should be looking out for something when they apply for clinical experience?
Yeah, definitely. I know that sometimes on like your campuses, sometimes they'll be sending out emails for you guys to apply to certain programs. But like, even if they're not actively sending out emails like that, probably go talk to your counselor, go talk to the health professions advisor. Sometimes they have a lot of opportunities locally that they can kind of get you connected with. But in particular, you can even reach out to your local hospitals as a volunteer. That's how I started. I went up to my local hospital and I told them, can I volunteer?
Yeah.
And pretty soon I had 3 4-hour shifts, one in the emergency department, one running other volunteers as like, as kind of in the staff room, and then another one is like urgent care setting. Yeah. And so, that's 3 different experiences in one. So that, that gives you a lot of different opportunities to get like different experiences within medicine, because not every single experience is the same.
I have another question. Do you guys think that medical schools value certain clinical experiences more than others, or is it even? What do you think? You're shaking your head.
I think it's all even.
I think it's all even.
Regardless of what experience you have, it just matters of how that experience impacted you
and how it helped you.
Like what did you learn from it?
Like,
it's very important.
It's because like you can have like just volunteering like me, like every other student at a hospital, or you can go to another country and have another experience. Like, you know, it just matters of how it impacted you, what you got out from it, and what you learned from it. And then, like, you know, it's about learning, and like, you know, and then I believe in, one of my advisors used to tell me, practice makes progress, practice does not make perfect.
Yeah.
So
perfect
like
Perfect. Yeah.
So for me, like I keep practicing every day. I've been doing so many volunteers position, working in hospitals and doing anything, but I'm still not perfect at it. I keep improving day by day, and you know, that's just the goal routine, because even though one day I'll be a doctor, doesn't mean that I'm gonna know everything. There's still gonna be moments where I'm a human being, so I can make mistakes. Just saying to the future patients out there
who watches this video.
There's a reason why it's called the practice of medicine.
It's practice.
It's
still
so
practice.
It's just like you learn as you go along, and then and I feel like the way it's set up is like they give you so much time and years to learn, and then from learning, just like, you know, like taking care of everything. One advice that I would give is
let's talk really quickly, since we're approaching the end of it.
Okay,
what is some advice that you guys have?
Don't get carried away.
What do you mean?
So what I mean is, like, I know when I started off as a volunteer, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do like 10 hours a week and 15 hours a week. I can do it. And then like that's cool and all, do it, but like, don't, like, just because you're volunteering so much, don't let like your grades drop. Don't let your social life drop. Don't let
everything matters.
Everything matters. Like, you know, have a good balance. And then I know sometimes, like, people like me get a little too overboard, like when they start something new and they want to go all out, and then you don't want to crash down the plane. So
that's exactly kind of along the lines of what, like, I was about to say. So like, yes, definitely, number one thing, advice I would give is, you know, get your grades down.
Good. You
know, number one, before you start getting yourself involved in anything, any sort of extracurricular or job, you know, some people might not have a choice and might have to work, but still, I would say number one, make sure that you find out how to study. And that's something that you need to find out for yourself, how to study, because how your friend studies is not necessarily going to be the same way that you study and can yield good results. So number one, don't let your grades drop, and, you know, make sure that you keep them up as much as possible. And then once you feel you have a good handle on things, then you can go forward and start applying to all these extracurriculars and other opportunities as well.
Cool. Well, we've hit our mark for today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Cream. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for joining us. If you guys liked the video, please like our video. Please comment. Tell us what you guys think. We want to hear from you guys. And please subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. Also, go subscribe to my homie's channel right here. He's also a YouTuber, and he's a medical student. So go check it out. His link's below. His name is Michael Garcia Vlogs. Mike G Vlogs? Mike G Vlogs. All right. So go check it out. Thank you so much again. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys here next week. Peace.